I preach what I call extreme productivity. All of my work and life is batched. No, honey, I can't breastfeed you right now. If you want success, you've got to get crystal clear on your time management. And if that means never being there for cuddles and bedtime, well, so be it. There is no such thing as balance, just hustle. Beautiful, exceptional efficiency. Think about that phrase for a second. I mention it at least 27 times in every YouTube video I create. Okay, so truth be told, that's not at all what I believe or how I operate. I am not a productivity extremist. I'm just a business owner with a lot on my plate and a lot of dreams I want to achieve too. Now, last year I slipped into some very unproductive work habits and routine, and I wasn't accomplishing nearly the amount of work that I wanted to, and I wasn't as productive as I wanted to be either. I had so many goals I wanted to reach, but somehow finding the time to make them all happen, well, didn't happen. Maybe you can relate, or maybe that's just me. I made excuses for my poor productivity and blamed it on the fact that I had a ton of travel, and I had a lot of calls at weird hours because of my time zone. But regardless of all of my excuses, I knew I needed a complete reset of my work routine when I did my annual reflection in December. I took myself away to a lovely hotel, ordered room service, and got cozy with my usual Google Doc full of reflection prompts that I go through annually. If you want that reflection document, by the way, I'll pop a link to it up here and also below where you can grab a copy. Now, after this weekend, I knew if I was to have any chance at all of accomplishing my business goals this year, I needed a serious routine change. Now, the first thing I realized I was totally failing at requires me to go vegan to demonstrate this to you. Think of it like this. If I decide to give up on my junk food diet and become a vegan, of course, in order to actually be successful on my first day as a vegan, I would need to find some vegan recipes and probably go buy some vegetables too. And yet, if I never find the time to search recipes in a cookbook or go to the grocery store, then what's gonna happen? Of course, for dinner tonight, I'm gonna end up here, feeling terribly about myself. You can make all of the lofty goals that you'd like, but without preparing, you're giving yourself about a 100% chance of failure. If you try to reset your routine without first identifying your goal and also thinking up the list of tasks that you would need to do to get you there, it's kind of like when I open my fridge to cook a vegan meal without having any vegan recipes or vegetables on hand. If that happened, I'm not going to be successful as a vegan. Instead, I'll be unintentionally intermittent fasting, or maybe back at the closest fast food joint that I can find. And can I have a McFlurry? People so often have identified the goal correctly, like making $250,000 annually, but they haven't thought of the road to get there and what they need to do to actually achieve that goal. Like to make $250 a year online, you would need to probably grow an audience and make a digital product. And the tasks to reach that goal specifically would be first, picking a scalable marketing strategy. Second, doing said marketing strategy consistently. Third, getting those eyeballs onto an email list. Fourth, making said digital product. And 5, launching the thing. So just like becoming a vegan, you first need to prep by picking the tasks which will move you towards your goals and set that work as a priority instead of just letting whatever work seems to just appear on your to-do list to be your priority. Really, it's all about the preparation. I am just so healthy. Gwyneth Paltrow would be so proud. But even if you manage the preparation phase, you still have a long way to go. These coffee grounds represent my time and energy in a day. I have a limited amount of them, and to be honest, they're kind of all already used up. In my case, as a course creator, I spend my time and my energy on serving my students, making course updates, doing admin stuff, and then a bunch of marketing too. And here's the cup representing the work which gets me towards my goals. It's feeling a little bit unloved right now. Last year, this cup always seemed to be empty, and I never found the time for it, which was a bit of a problem. But just pouring more grounds into here and ignoring all the others wasn't an option. My business would crash and burn without the rest. So what exactly should I do? Say, screw it, pour the coffee grounds in and hope for the best? Nope. I needed to time track. You would be shocked and amazed at how much time the things that you've always been doing, or those recurring tasks, or how long it'll actually take you to get the documents together that your accountant asked you for. In my business, I time track with my whole team, and I was shocked to learn what we are really spending our time doing. Like spending hours tracking statistics each week, even though we never actually did anything with that data. I also realized one time that I had spent hours making a video for a chatbot on our website, only to later realize that only 2 potential customers used the chat option during our sale, making it really not worth the time to create it. One other time, I realized Instagram was taking up hours per week, and yet 99% of our sales came through our blog and our email list, which took a fraction of my time. So we decided at that point that doing Instagram, we were just gonna scrap that altogether. Now, don't just willy-nilly start pouring coffee grounds all over the place. First, track your time and then make a few strategic decisions on what you could cut, which, while nice, doesn't really move the needle in your business. And then decide to stop doing all of those tasks and allocate those grounds to your goal. Okay, so you've prepared by deciding what tasks will move you towards your goal and scrapped a few other things, pouring those grounds into your goals cup. So that's enough to reach your goal, right? Well, not quite. Let's say you drop your kids off at soccer practice. Bye-bye, honey. Here's your shin pads. You're gonna do great. Remember your slide tackle. Would you then go straight from soccer practice to fill up the gas tank in your car, even though the tank is almost still full? No, of course not. You'd instead drive around for the week, do the soccer drop-off, head away for the weekend to the countryside, maybe run a few errands, hit the gym, and then when the tank is almost empty, you'd go to the station and fill it up. It takes effort to go to the gas station, so of course you wouldn't do it every single day. It takes time, and you've got to find your keys, and then you've got to put on your shoes, and then you've got to drive to the station, and then you've got to head in to pay your potentially $2 if you do this every day. So instead, you should just batch it, and every week when the tank is getting low, you would go ahead and fill it up, as opposed to doing it every single time that you drive your car. Now, entrepreneurs, myself included, however, are totally guilty of filling up the gas tank every time we drive the car with how we complete our work. Some admin work appears on our to-do list, and we do it right away. Of course, it is completely unproductive and inefficient, and it takes time to get into that task and then to complete that task, and then maybe we're trying to do work in an environment that doesn't actually fit. For me, I take a lot of time to plan these YouTube videos, which of course takes creativity, and for me, creativity takes a few hours of uninterrupted just thinking time, and I do my best work in an inspiring, distraction-free environment, like, for example, a cafe or a co-working space, not actually in my apartment where my laundry seems to be staring at me. Or when I need to film, I need to do my hair and makeup, set up my lights, ensure the camera battery is charged, and shoo my husband out of the place so that I have a quiet background. So what I'm saying is, batch your work, think up the tasks which you do which require a similar space or mental capacity, and try to batch your days accordingly. Now here is what I came up with. So I identified that this year my goal was to grow on YouTube, and to do that I needed to write scripts, and then plan thumbnails, and then film the actual videos. Then I needed to clear out my schedule, pouring the coffee grounds out of the other cups, eliminating busy work that was sucking up my time but wasn't actually producing any super useful results. And then I needed to put that time into my big goal cup. And finally, I also needed to batch my work. So tasks that required similar space or preparation or mental capacity could be done together. So for me, what that looks like is on Mondays, I write scripts and I plan my YouTube thumbnails. On Tuesday, I write scripts again. And on Wednesdays, I actually film videos. So that's the day that my husband heads off to his members club to do his work so that I can have this place to myself. Now, of course, I still have other work to do. On Thursdays, I serve my students by making updates to our courses and planning out the content and ideas for our next big course sale and doing Q&A calls with students too. I also decided to put my personal mastermind calls on this same day as well, so I can do all the calls and meetings in one day, so I don't need to remember appointments all week long. I just know on Thursdays I might have appointments. Then on Fridays, I take some time to reflect. Basically, I do a condensed version of the annual reflection, which I do in December, which I told you about before. And I also do admin work for the business too. Now, I have to admit, even if you do everything which I explained in here, if you're still using a physical planner to organize your life and business, you're probably not going to get very far. A pretty planner is fine when you're a student, but it is absolutely no way to run a business. So watch this video next to get a tour of my project management system to see how I organize, prioritize, and manage all the tasks both myself and my team do in a day.